Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Nazmi bin Rahim, and my supervisor name is Dr. Azwin Aida binti Bahari. So I am from BNE, Faculty of Engineering Technology. So my project title is Password Code and Fingerprint Based Security using Relay. So from the abstract, this project focusing on security system, and the implementation is more to industrial site such as manufacturing plant or site that have a mega machine that must turn on and shut down carefully. So by using a password and fingerprint scanner can reduce the chance to fatal injury because of only the person in charge that can turn on or off the system. Electrical engineer protection using user changeable password circuit breaker and fingerprint scanner to trigger the circuit breaker. A circuit breaker is an automatically operated electrical switch designed to protect an electrical circuit from damage caused by overload or short circuit. Its basic function is to detect a fault condition or interrupt current flow. A keypad and fingerprint scanner are used to authorize the input and a relay to open or close the circuit breaker, which is indicated by a lamp. So in this abstract, in the real life situation, we must use circuit breaker, but in this prototype, I use relay to act like it is a circuit breaker. So introduction, we go to introduction. Electrical accidents are defined as any incident in which an electric current has an anticipated consequence and causes injury, death, or damage to property. And what is the problem? Back these few years, so many fatal injuries caused from electrical maintenance and equipment failures. So misunderstanding between the technician and the general workforce are to blame for many of the industrial site fatalities. This project designed to make an advantage to engineers and technicians because of its reliability, safety. With a proper design, can make sure that the engineers are safe. The engineers and the technicians are safe when handling the equipment. This system will improve a safety system while doing maintenance repair. It is easier to interrupt the incoming current and provide a big confidence while repairing in the electrical field. So my objective of this project is to develop a relay system with fingerprint and password protection. So the fingerprint and password protection is the most high security system in this world right now. So I use these two input into my prototype. So the second is to monitor the system operation in a real-time situation. So we can monitor the system, which is when we turn on the system, the LCD will show us pass accepted, and that shows us the current flow. So the third one is to verify the performance of the operation via experimental setup. So I make this prototype by using experimental setup to see how to show how the system works and to verify the performance. And for the literature review, actually many project has done this project, but I improve this system adding these two input, which is fingerprint and password. So and push button, emergency push button. Before this, the prototype is have only one, which is just fingerprint scanner, and or just keypad, and there is no emergency button. So for the literature review, I find I put these three literature, which is I make this literature review short in sentence. So the Arduino for the first project, the Arduino Uno microcontroller board serve as the central hub for the whole system. So the Arduino Uno is the microcontroller that control all the system. The entire operation of the various components is controlled by the microcontroller, and circuit breaker that require a password to operate are designed to ensure that the power line is only activated when the password is input correctly. So when the user insert the password correctly, so the circuit breaker is triggered and the current will flow. And the second project is a fingerprint reader, which is attempt to become an optical. So this so many fingerprint scanner in the market right now. So one of the fingerprint reader is optical, solid state, and ultrasonic sensor. So this project is use biometric characteristic. So and it's saved in a database as a template with a user identity, and the system will ask for a pin code, and if it enter correctly, the microcontroller deactivate the line relay so that the maintenance can be performed on the wiring. So this project is use pin code and fingerprint scanner. This project use two inputs, but no emergency push button to cut off the current, to cut off the load. So in this project, if the password is incorrect, the system will ask for a passcode again. If the fingerprint do not match, the system won't ask for password, and it won't ask for a password if the fingerprint match. And for the third literature review is Arduino Uno and a GSM module are used to interface with the transformer control unit in the construction of the model. And this use keypad, LED indicator, and a microprocessor controller stepper motor all surround the controller. And to transmit and this project is use GSM model and GSM module and Arduino Uno, and to transmit the received password to the lineman mobile phone and the control panel's GSM receiver. And this have like a control panel, control center, and is treated as if it were a mobile phone. And so the person at the control center is sending a secure password to both control panel GSM receiver and the technician mobile phone. And when it is confirmed by command center operator, the correct password has been put into the controller, and thus it switch off the circuit breaker before unlocking the panel's door. So this project, this third project is using Arduino Uno and GSM module. So the technician and control center will have the data receiver and if they want to cut off the current, they will have the secure password by transferred into their phone. And so this is my project. This is block diagram of my project. So I use 4x4 keypad and fingerprint module, and which is these two input when I insert the password and place my fingerprint and scanning the Arduino and scanning my fingerprint, it will send the data into Arduino Uno and it will process into and it will process into and go to the relay. And the output is also have LCD screen and the bulb, and this is a latch button which act like emergency push button. So my project is when we first we must scan the fingerprint, our fingerprint in onto the fingerprint module, and after that the LCD will show enter the password, and if the password is correct, and the LCD will show pass accepted, and the relay will trigger, and it will turn on the bulb. And if we want to off the current, we must do it again. Insert the place the fingerprint onto fingerprint module, and insert the right password, and the relay will trigger and turn off the bulb. And the latch button is act like it is bypass from AC current, so it will not in the coding, so it just bypass through the bulb. So if we push the latch button, the current will interrupt, and if we push again, the current will flow. The current will flow to the bulb. And this is my result and discussion. If we want to enter the ID, we must press button A to enter the ID. So yeah, we must enter button A and scan our fingerprint, and then the display will the LCD will display enter fingerprint, and after the green light turn off, it shows the fingerprint is matched with the stored fingerprint. So after that, we must enter the correct password, and the LCD will display enter password. And if the right password, and if the insert password is matched with the source coding, the LCD will display pass accepted, and then it will trigger the relay, and then the bulb will turn on. So if we want to turn off the bulb, we must do it the same thing, which is press A and then scan the fingerprint scanner, and then insert the right password. After that, the relay will trigger, and the current and the bulb will turn off. And on the right side, which is the latch button, which act like emergency push button. So if we push the latch button, the current will interrupt. Even the password or the fingerprint scanner is right. If we push the button, the bulb will turn off. And for the conclusion, in this project, shows a conceptual implementation of password primary based and fingerprint scanner security using a relay control with a view to reduce the dimension of the circuit breaker and facilitate the idea of as needed innovation technique. Moreover, this will get rid of the priority concerning security vulnerability of third-party gadget because the platform is open supply. Being a prototype conceptual implementation, feature paintings can be achieved on implementation of open supply inferential engine, so one can acquire recommendation on upkeep. And then integration with automatic upkeep, management software program, development of open source hosting server. So this is my references. So mostly I refer it to IEEE website. So this is the 3 reference I put in my poster, which is the passcode based circuit interrupter, the development and implementation of password fingerprint based and password based distribution panel and circuit breaker operation during the maintenance work. So thank you. That's all from me. Assalamualaikum.
So now I want to show you how to enroll my fingerprint. So at the serial monitor at the Arduino, if successfully enrolled the fingerprint, it shows the ID is already stored. So after we enroll the fingerprint. So this is the prototype of my project. I use the junction box, and this is the 12-volt AC adapter. And this is fingerprint module, and this is 4x4 keypad, and this is 16x2 I2C type, and this is the box, and this is on the right side, this is the latch button, act like emergency push button. So there, and this is the 12-volt connector, and we go into the junction box. So we clearly can see I use the power bank to power up the Arduino Uno. So and this is the single channel relay. This is the breadboard. This is a Arduino Uno, and yeah, this is the inside of my junction box. So if we want to turn on the Arduino, we must we must check all the connection. So that they are not the current cannot interrupt, the current cannot short. So yeah, clearly you can see. Then if you want to start the scanner, we must turn on the AC adapter, and we must tap the reset button onto Arduino. So if we push the latch button on the right side, the bulb is turned on. So you can clearly see the state of this prototype, which is if we turn on the AC adapter, the bulb will turn on. So so we must scan our fingerprint first. So we must press A. So we enter fingerprint. So we must clear. So the star will clear the words A words. So we must enter the password 1 2 3 4. So the start button is act like the enter button. So if we so they show us the wrong password because if we late to scan the fingerprint, the fingerprint module is not detected. So we can see it here when the state of this project is the bulb is turned on. So if we want to turn off the bulb, we must press A and enter the fingerprint, and the start button is the clear button. So we must clear the A. So we must put the correct password 1 2 3 and 4, and this is the enter button. So lepas accepted, the bulb is
turn off. So the relay is triggered in the junction box. So the load is turned off, the current will not flow. So if we want to turn on the bulb, if we want to let the current flow, we must do it again by press a button. So scan the fingerprint. So clear. Set the right password. Enter. So the pass accepted, and the current will flow, and the bulb will turn on. So this is the emergency push button. If I push this button, the load will turn off. It will interrupt the current. So that's it. So now the bulb is turned off. So there is no current flow in this prototype. Into the bulb. Sorry. So, thank you. That's all from me.